tell people. If we just say that, you know, can you come in and help? Sarah, we are dealing with drug addicts. More often than not, they'll say, why should we help drug addicts? They're just drug addicts. They deserve it. Who asked them to take drugs? Let them go and die. That was the general response we gave. So we have changed. We need to change. And what better way of changing in reaching out to the youth is to get youth to come up with ideas. But please bear in mind whatever ideas we have. Got to be practical. Yeah? We don't have the money, no funding. We're not a national organization. So we're always on the lookout for such things. We have made some success, in fact considerable, but we feel it's not enough, especially in our outreach to the community at large, like what I say, but to the youth in particular. There's a need in the way we change even in our this sort of exhibition panel. We can't use the old way. Old way is too boring. You all will realize if you are doing mass comm and marketing. Yeah? Even in film shows, Hollywood has changed the way they project a show. In the old days, it's very slow, you know. Director, producer, they show they're starring who, long list. Nowadays, if you show these people will fall asleep before the show actually starts. So for a good blockbuster come, wham, boom, bam, straight away a lot of action, a lot of things to attract you, to bring you in first. Then slowly they bring you along. It's a Hollywood production. Even big departmental stores have changed in the way they design the layout. You walk in only, what do you see? You smell nice things, you see beautiful things. Fragrance and cosmetic will be the first place to hit you. Beautiful girls standing behind fragrance and cosmetics. Yeah? So that draws you in. Draw the guys in also. Yeah? Draw the girls in. We have to change the way we reach out. No, old way of doing things. And we hope that you all can give us ideas. We hope we can work together with you all. And we hope that in the process, we'll be able to tell you that drug addiction profile has changed. It doesn't just affect people who are less educated, coming from the low social income group. It affects even college students, tertiary graduates. Remember that. People who are very well educated, who think that they can control the drug addiction because they are so well educated, they are so smart. By the end of the day, by the time they realize it, the drug addiction is controlling them. Right? Having said that, I'll leave it to my two colleagues, Kunling and Daniel, to give you all an overview. And along the way, if you feel like asking any questions, and if there's a need for me to highlight other things, I'll do so. Feel free to ask questions. We also want to learn. When you ask, if we don't know, we are learning. Yeah? When you ask, we know, and we reply along the way, we are also learning. That's how it should be. Okay? Go ahead.
So, yeah. But in a nutshell, what Mr. Lim has said, we are a charity organization, we are a non-profit, we are VWO, a voluntary welfare organization. And our main role here is we do counseling for the correct term, recovering drug addicts, those who may be in prison now, or those who may have been released already. We will follow up on them and we will do rehabilitation for them. Right? Apart from that, we also advocate the dangers of drug abuse and also try and outreach to the public to educate them about the dangers of drug abuse. We teach kids. At least we try to tell them that choose an alternative way of life rather than to take drugs. All of us here agree that drugs is not good for you, right? Correct?
Yes, yes.
Designers, no, I'm very scared, no. Creative people are very scared, no. But drugs are not good for you, right? Even though you want to believe it's good for you, the cops will tell you it's not good for you because they catch you and they let you expose it, right? So I hope everybody agrees on that, right? So this is what Sana does. It's very lengthy. You can find this in our website, but I'm just showing to you roughly what it does. It's printed on your sheet of paper as well, the FAQ, so you should be able to read up on that.
Now, so this is what I mean. If anyone read these, youngsters especially, they're going to be bored. They're very narrative. You're not going to waste time when Sana was set up. Youngsters don't care about when Sana was set up. What is the message are we trying to deliver? So what we have done is that we have changed the whole concept. Even in the tagline, we focus now on youth, family bonding and building life. In the old days, it was featuring whenever we reach out. It features the image of a drug addict, muscular, with tattoos behind. That was the old poster which Sana was marketing in the past to get people to come in to help us. But when the youngsters look at that, hey, that's all right to be a drug addict, it's so muscular like Yakuza, that sort of thing. Wrong image. We don't want to portray that sort of image. But it also creates problems for us in funding. Any big corporate want to come in, they see that, oh no, why should I fund Sana? So we take a soft approach, not a harsh approach. Soft approach is to tell them we're reaching out to youth and families. Yeah? Clients is sort of incidental, that sort of thing. So along the way, to cut a long story short for more impact, we'll tell them our work essentially is 3 P's and 4 C's. Then people ask, what do you mean by 3 P and 4 C's? So arouse your curiosity. First P is prevention of youth in particular and the population in general in going into drug addiction. That means we don't want new drug addicts to come in. That's the first P, prevention. Second P is prevention of reoffending. Very important. If we can't prevent drug addicts from reoffending, we fail. Why is it so? Well, take for example, from 2011 to 2014, a total of more than 3,000 long-term drug addicts will be released. Every year, slightly more than 1,000 come out. Based on records, out of every 1,000 released, no less than 25% will reoffend. So what if they reoffend? Lock them up, not so easy. If a guy comes out, he reoffends. These are the following things will happen. Yeah? Remember, 1,250 will reoffend. I run out of money. He's not a drug addict yet. He is a trafficker. He passed his arrow if you want drugs to continue your addiction. You don't have no money, no problem. Yeah, I'll give you the drugs, but you sell it for me. So I'll look for new ones. I'll push it to you free of charge. I get him hooked. When I get him hooked, his market expands. See? More people will buy drugs. So reoffending is very important to prevent. We don't want the disease, the drug menace to spread. This is the second P. The third P is what? The third P is prevention of intergenerational offending. Intergenerational offending is something which we focus on since 2010. Many people don't understand what is intergenerational offending. It is a vicious cycle. Yeah, you're right, a vicious cycle. Unless you can break the vicious cycle, the drug addict who's married, have children, he's going to spread it to his children. He's going to spread it to his sibling. And it happens. Let me share this very sad story with you. We have a client, a woman, who's currently handled by us. But she remembers that at the age of 4, and she remembers it very clearly, the mother celebrated her birthday. She has a father and a mother. Father and mother drew up a duty roster. Yeah? This year I went to jail for drug addiction, next year I come out, you go in. So they took turns. And sometimes they don't coordinate, both will go in at the same time. Now, at the age of 4, she remembers the mother was out, father was in. Mother celebrated her 4th year birthday. She was very happy. all the relatives came to the person who they thought the mother is changing. The mother took all the birthday present, went to sell it, bought heroin and started pumping it. And the mother kept on pumping heroin into her veins in the presence of the daughter. The daughter eventually grew up also, start to follow the mother. It's just like that. A high percentage will follow the parents' footsteps. And eventually, mother and daughter were both arrested when they were pumping heroin into their veins. See how tragic it is. So these are the sort of cases we're dealing with. You got to break the intergenerational effect. You cannot blame drug addicts. You cannot criminalize drug addicts. You criminalize drug addicts, you are being wrong because you'll be treating drug addicts in a different way. You'll not be able to help them to recover. Because when you criminalize a person, the way I talk to you is different from the way I talk to another person whom I do not treat as a criminal. So psychologically, subconsciously, you may not be aware, but you'll be top down. And when it's top down, the rehabilitation process, the counseling process doesn't work. There's a very good case which I have hinted. Let me share with you all another case. Why I say we should not criminalize drug addicts. Why should we should understand that drug addiction is not because they want to get into it just to feel shock, to feel high, to feel good. No. It's not because stress or work pressure, friend promise, not just that. Many a time it is because of their childhood experiences and trauma, which came about because of circumstances, parents, quite often, all right? As in this case, this drug addict is 40 years old now. He went into drug addiction at the age of 20. Why? At the age of 4, one day the father told him and his sister, watch out, I'm going to do a magic act. Father climbed onto a stool, put a rope around his own neck, told both son and daughter to climb. When he was 9 years old, both didn't know later. Father came with the stool, that committed suicide in front of the daughter and the son. The son was traumatized with the haunting image. At the age of 20, the son, of course the friends you know, went into drug addiction to escape, to seek comfort in drugs. That's it. So is it because of friends? No, it is there. What about the sister? Is she luckier? Was she luckier? She, at the age of 16, jumped down and committed suicide. There are many such cases, many sad cases. Youngsters affected, gone into drugs, and increasingly the number of youth going to drugs is increasing among new drug addicts. Remember, it's a worldwide phenomenon, and if you trace it back, quite often it is the family, the experience of what they went through in their younger days. Right? Thank you.
Okay. So, thanks very much, Mr. Lim. So the numbers speak for itself. So here are some numbers. Number of drug abusers arrested from 2005 to 2012. As you can see, the numbers, I know you're all designers, but numbers are quite easy to understand. They're all increasing. From 3-digit all the way down to a 4-digit number. Same with the total number of abusers. It's gone up to 3,481. There's a lot of people being caught every year for abusing drugs. So it's quite a concern. Okay?
So we're basing the number of drug addicts on those who are caught.
Yes.
Yeah? We don't know how many are abusing drugs or going to drugs who are not caught. So statistically, it will be more, far more than that. Always remember that.
And the next one, which is of concern, is age group. Right? So among those being caught, from 08 to 2012, those below 20, below 20, all of you are above 20, you're below 20. So your age group, your peers, 159 of them last year. For 20 to 29, 568. So the numbers are all increasing. So it's a concern for a lot of people. So in your messaging, in your design work, all these numbers I hope you keep into, you put it into your design. The types of drugs, these are various types of drugs. You can Google them and find out what exactly they are. But common ones, I think you should know, like heroin and meth and amphetamine. And these two drugs are very popular here, and the numbers of people using it is really a concern. Right?
Increasingly, methamphetamine synthetic drugs is getting more popular. It's not just confined to Singapore. Why is it more popular? Easier to produce. It's unlike opiate-based drugs. Opiate-based drugs, you got to have a land to plant your poppy flower. And when the authorities stumble onto it, you can't straight away hide the piece of land and carry it away. Yeah? But synthetic drugs, all you need is the equipment and a small place to produce. So that's the first thing. Second thing,
I think specifically because we don't want to blow it up too much. More this particular area of outdoor display panels, for use in such specific areas.
So maybe to bring the issue to our side of the table. We also like to thank Mr. Now, where we are at this point in time currently is we know that we have got about 18 students in doing advertising communication. They are all currently also doing a course of visual communication. So their primary expertise would be graphic design and communication design. However, these 18 students, they have done a little bit more than just basic graphic design. They are advertising students where probably they could also be challenged a little bit more from a strategic point of view. Coming out with posters, I don't think it would be an issue. We could probably come out with a poster design in a week or two, but the students have been given about a month to work on this quite carefully, because we want to produce something effectively for SANA. So we have 18 students, and these 18 students are divided into 9 groups where they are working in a pair. Why a pair? Because we believe that the students will be able to generate better ideas when they share ideas, when they spar, and when they brainstorm with their partners. So I think the students came here with very clear objectives of definitely trying to help someone achieve their objectives. So design definitely is one, we can do that. However, if the students will also be given an opportunity to recommend or make recommendations on how to probably effectively speak to their own groups of target audiences. These are the people who probably know a lot more, if not an introduction just now to the kind of problems that as a community Singapore is having, that is drug abuse. I think I would also, as a lecturer, coming from the academic point of view, we'd like to challenge the students to be a little bit more brave in coming up with proposals, knowing the client's limitations. Our job here is not to create something so beautiful and so up in the clouds, but when it comes to SANA's execution, they are not able to do it because of the constraints that surround SANA. Funding, I think that's a big consideration that you need to understand. Yeah. So probably what I'll do right now is open the floor. If you guys have any questions that you need a little bit more clarity, please feel free to ask the team from SANA. You can ask Mr. Lim, you can ask Daniel and his team. Maybe you spend some time.
This is like a brainstorming period. Like we give our ideas now.
No.
Or
it is to clarify objectives.
clarify. I think based on what Azhar mentioned, it's very encouraging. We are definitely receptive to new ideas. We are definitely receptive to how you are going to present it. And we'll also look into how we can fit into what you are looking into. A good example would be, maybe you should go by the ways.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
a good example would be this big time advertising company came to work with us, pro bono. They came out with something very radical. We were hesitant about it, but we decided to go ahead with it. This is more. This is on intergenerational offending, but they look at it quite differently. Yeah, they are creative like you all, so you look at it from a different way of the way we look at it. Look at the first photo. First photo. Switch to the first photo with the old man in the stomach. This is the old man in the stomach. Now we ask them, it looks, wow, you know, put you off. They say that's what we want you to react. You look at it, it puts you off. Then you'll be curious as to what the heck is it. Yeah, that's the umbilical cord. And that shows that even before you are born, if your mother is a drug addict, you are already old. Because this is how you come out, you're going to be a drug addict. You're going to be old very fast. See how powerful it is. It's the same with switch to the next one. If the baby is a baby girl. You see? So they are doing it. The baby is in the mother's womb. But they are projecting it into the future. That you end up as an or ape also before you are born, you know. It's amazing. The idea is very catchy. We were quite worried about it. But when we took it out for exhibition, it generates curiosity and it draws people in. They allow us to talk to them. This is what intergenerational offending is all about. Yeah? And even for the one, the scrolling and all that, they took it away differently. So we were hesitant. But they say, look, it's a new way. You can't use the old way of reaching out to people. So we accepted it. And they have done very well in there. That was done last year. Yeah?
So this poster being released into the public?
Yeah, we did. We've been using it.
Yeah, we use
We
it
use
in
it.
our community outreach
And
events.
we have even published it in our newsletter and annual report. So it's been widely circulated. And they even submitted it for international, I think it was Cairns International Award. Huh? So the two Ape Amam, they won an honorable mention. But the other one, they got a silver award.
Anyway,
Yeah? Or just to tell you how we work, we always receptive. We don't say no. There's always, we may fail to understand because we're older. You're like this line, younger, more creative also. Yeah?
anyway, at some of our exhibitions, we bring along a 32-inch LED TV, and we run some videos, you know, for members of the public who happen to stop by our booth. You know, they're inquisitive, they want to know more. We run videos for some of them to view. When Lowy created this campaign for us, there was also a video which came along with it,
For the second one.
and it's on
It's useful.
it's on heroin. It actually lines itself with the one which you have, that creative, that particular creative which you have. And let me play the video for you. Yeah.
Oh, no, pause it. There's no sound. How much?
It's very artistically done.
That's why it's very
Who was this campaign
Louis.
targeted?
Huh?
Which
This one.
the agency?
The general public, in general, like what I say, and also youth. We don't have a one approach fits all. It depends on
targeted.
it depends on where we are, who we're reaching out to. So we keep on changing. Yeah, this is how we do it to be more successful.
Yes.
And we are actually reaping the result of what we have done. We have a group of recovering addicts who one day they told us, and that was the objective, sort of guiding them too. They want to take ownership of what they want to do. They say they want to return to the community. Can they organize an event? to the Jamaica home, drug addicts. They went there. And they did some community work, and the residents in Jamaica home were so touched and moved by the drug addicts. They cooked for them, they entertained them, they fed them. Yeah? Now, while we're waiting for the sound to come on, one of the very good. Oh. Then there are some who have wrong ideas about drugs. Methamphetamine can help me to keep in shape, I can reduce weight. But before they realize it, they're hooked. We have a case of a girl who actually went into that. Can reduce weight. She got hooked. We have a case of a young man who wants to stay mentally alert because he's a gambler. So whenever he go to Sentosa Resort World, of course, take drugs to keep alert. Eventually he got hooked. Not only did he lose in gambling, he lost also in the fight against drug abuse. Not working, Hans? Huh?
Is it on YouTube? I mean, like,
It is on YouTube. It's on
where will you find it?
It's on YouTube. You can Google it, Sana heroin advertisement. It's on YouTube.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is not something that like we have talked about. I think that one of the biggest problems for any of us here, anyone who is in the creative industry, is expression versus impression. We know that the message that we're trying to send here, right, is excellent, but the impression that we make on people, right, we need to draw them in at the first sight. Right? So I think that it's very interesting when you all focus on the stories and everything, and the specifics of what each different drug is about and everything. How we can prevent and everything. You know, there's so much that you all are doing, like public education, helping the incarcerated and everything. It's very commendable and stuff, but the visuals that you all want to produce, right, in order to get that is the problem. But we live in a society where a lot of things are very monkey see, monkey do kind of thing. We are bred to be followers. So my question is,
Try to break out the mold.
yeah, my question is, if we were to give you an idea, we are student designers.
Yeah.
We are young, very young in the industry, everything. But we're not like big advertising companies that will do this kind of thing for you. But if we gave you an idea, if we gave you an idea that we can justify and we say that this can work, we know that Sana, you know, this is something that you stressed on earlier. We know that Sana is not capable of hiring, you know, big companies that you have to pay a lot and stuff. We know that there's a budget, that it's an NGO, it's a VW, you know, we understand. But if we gave you an idea that was massive, right, and we can justify it, how far are you all willing to trust us to carry this plan forward?
The cost depends on the cost involved. Bottom line is always the funding, the cost. I think that's important. If we don't have the funding, the cost, and it is beyond our financial capability.
So as long as we can
No
justify,
matter how good it is, we just can't.
So as long as we can justify the budgeting and the cost to you, and it's a really, really good idea, a way for you all to reach out to the community.
Justify is one thing, but can we afford it is another thing. That's what I see. The bottom line is, can we afford it? Can Sana afford it? In whatever we do, and I've always made it very clear, the bottom line is, do we have the money to do it and to sustain in what we are doing? I think that's important. As to then, you all are young, you are not big companies, that's irrelevant. You'll be surprised how youngsters can come up with very refreshing ideas. Yeah? And I'm still learning from youngsters. Now I'm learning, I used to learn from my children. Now I'm learning from my grandchildren. Yeah? And sometimes they come up with the most dumbest questions and answers, which I never fail, which I fail to see at all. It's amazing. You can set your mind thinking. A good example be one day my granddaughter, younger granddaughter, she was not even in primary 1 yet. As we were about to enter the lift, Grandpa, is there God? Oh, I'm chill, man. See, yeah, there is. How see I can't see God? So it sets me thinking, you see. So I'm going to tell her, I said, God is everywhere. When you see a creation, when you see nature, you see a tree, you see a tiger, you see a person. That is God, that is God's creation. That's the work of God. But I will never answer if she did not ask. She sets your mind thinking. She even asked one day another granddaughter, yeah, which do you love your brother? Don't chin with him. So I answered her. I said, look, I'm revealing a bit of myself, just to share with you. I said, I've never considered that, girl, about loving my brother. Because I've got no opportunity to love my brother. And I explained to her why. But now that you ask, damn it, I've never thought of that. No wonder there isn't the love between me and my brother. So I don't know what love is. I never experienced brotherly love or sibling love. I grew up alone. I was a street urchin. But it prompted. Question itself prompts you to search for an answer. Yeah? So that's how it is. That's how youngsters, sometimes just by prompting, it makes an old guy like me to look at things quite differently. It's very important. And I always welcome questions from young guys. No? Not a call, huh? Oh, I see. Yeah.
I have another question.
Correct. So it's just like that. So I always welcome ideas, views. I always encourage my staff. If they can prove me wrong, I say, all right, I'll back off. But if you come up with an idea, you're going to convince me, like what she said, justify it. You're going to convince me. That's it, your head.
So my question is, has Sana ever tried to do anything, any sort of campaigns or outreaching on the internet before? Because right now we observe that we are in a very internet technology savvy sort of generation, and youngsters, we are easily connected to each other via the net, via social media and stuff like that. So has Sana ever tried?
We did once. I don't know whether you saw, maybe the clip is still inside in your YouTube. We did once. Right? Again, a advertising agency approached us. So we went into it. You want to drop a clip, any of you? I don't know whether.
So it was a video that's
just a video clip. Yeah, and online. And it was a totally different approach. They worked with us and they created a pseudo character. You remember that? No. Created a pseudo character. And it was, do we have it? We did that once, and it was quite successful. It was something completely new. You go into Google, you Google straight away. Alright? It's not under Limi, it's under a different name. It's under a different name.
So Mr. Lee, when you said it was successful, what was successful?
The feedback, the response we get.
How
The
much
likes.
response was there?
The likes and all that. And it was a fresh perspective of looking at things.
So did more people contact Sana after the video went live?
Oh, we have those who agree and those who disagree. Yeah, but it was all in the. We have also phone calls.
Does anyone here know about the video? No?
And we will Google it. Anyway,
You Google it.
I'll get it from Daniel.
Yeah.
And we have a look at it.
Alex. That's it. Under Alex. Correct. Yeah? We created a pseudo character called Alex. And then he was trying to sell his sister for drugs. A completely different, refreshing approach. We took the risk. And we had the authorities coming down hard on us. But we took the risk. We went ahead with it. We thought it was very good.
What was
Why?
the objective of
Huh?
the campaign?
The objective of the campaign was to show that the collective wisdom of the youth can be turned into something positive in using, coming up with an anti-drug message. We also did what we call another event, Daniel, the recent one, outside Mandarin Hotel.
Oh, the flash mob.
Flash mob.
Flash mob of?
Huh?
What flash mob was this? A dance flash mob?
It was a dance flash mob with an anti-drug message. So we are into new ways of doing things. Yeah?
What was the message of the first video again? What this guy was trying to sell his sister for drugs?
Yeah, this guy was trying to sell his sister for drugs.
So he was pimping her out.
He was pimping, sort of. But the word pimping was never used. You see. So that's how we got away with it. Yeah? And you have people telling him, getting angry with him, telling him why you shouldn't go into drug addiction and all that. Hello? Wait. Yeah. Yeah, yes. Yeah, let me walk out my thing. Yeah, sure.
Newscasters, I think, from Channel News Asia and all that, you know, eventually some of them were released, local celebrities. So it's frightening to think that there's such a group, an elite group, driving around with their expensive cars, living in condominiums in Orchard Road and all that, and they have nothing better to do with their money, and they're dabbling, and they might have contacts bringing in cocaine. Cocaine is a very expensive drug, by the way. You know, so such an elite group of individuals might be abusing cocaine rather than heroin, you know, the cheaper sort of drugs or ecstasy and all that. But what I'm saying is, you know, if such a group doesn't come to the surface, if nobody knows about them, what makes you so sure this group is going to stay the same size? It's going to grow, you know. Look, if I'm making $50,000 a month, I've traveled all over the world. I've got 2 Ferraris in my backyard. I've got 6 private properties, 1 in Sentosa. I've got nothing else to do with my money. My friend who's just as rich as I am comes to me with a bag of cocaine. Say, hey, you love your Hollywood movies, man. Why not try the real thing, man? Shit. You know? And I tell myself I'm an intelligent guy. You know, I got a PhD and all that. You know, I managed to quit smoking. Drugs is another form of addiction. I definitely won't get hooked on this. I can probably quit it as easily as I quit smoking or quit drinking. That's what this NUS real estate professor taught, okay? And this guy was a scholar from the best school in Singapore. And he meddled with drugs along with all his other elite friends. People who go for evening parties at places like Avalon, and you know, they just throw money. I mean, as an NUS lecturer, what the kind of money you're making? And he did consultancy as well with big companies. So the money was definitely coming in, man. Yeah. So it's but I guess majority would still fall within that stereotype as you mentioned. Sure.
I'm trying to be realistic,
Right.
and I feel that to be honest with what we have right now, that we are not able to reach them,
Right.
and that they are not the target right now, because if they see a person with their kind of idea, they would not.
Right.
They would know that they can overcome it, like you say.
Right.
And if they have their mindset on something like, oh, because I have all this money, I can take this, I know I can overcome it. Whatever poster or whatever thrown at them is not what's gonna happen. So
Sure.
the people who are gonna be mostly influenced by what we can do with the budget that we have would be still the youth. Is that basically? So
Okay,
we can just have a more. I'm not boxing it, but
Sure, I understand. I guess as SANA progresses year by year, we would still be collaborating with the institutes of higher learning, the schools, and that's where the main audience for these exhibition panels, these display posters and all that, will still be the young who are currently studying in that institute of learning or higher learning. For example, as I mentioned just now, we collaborated with Raffles Institution. We were invited by Republic Polytechnic to participate in a roadshow.
We were invited by Pioneer Junior College to set up a booth to reach out to their students and staff faculty members. We feel the kind of posters that go out in such exhibitions where we participate with schools and institutes of higher learning, they're not impactful enough. They're not going to grab the attention of the 17, 19-year-old, or even the 20 to 22-year-old NUS, SMU, NTU. We think they're not, this profile group, they're not going to give two hoots about it. So we want something more impactful.
No, wrong. I pressed the wrong number. Right, sorry.
Yeah, we can get the sound.
Sure.
Apologize for the lack
Sure,
of sound.
Right.
Alright, I hope I answered. But I get the majority still falls within that profile. The majority, it's safe to say the majority still falls within a profile. Certain educational level, certain social level of social income, you know. Yeah.
So let's say we were to target general, let's say, audience group, let's say ITV Playground,
Right.
16 to 29, because you mentioned just now in the slideshow the number of youth offenders are increasing. Between 16 and 29, are there certain character traits that you point out? Maybe in the people that council
character traits of individuals who fall within the 16 to 29 age group that could possibly be at risk of abusing drugs.
This will be quite a narrow representation. What we have will be based on cases which we have dealt with. Right? For youngsters who go into drugs, generally, I'm using generally, or more often than not, they come from a family belonging to the lower social income. Point one, dysfunctional family. Point two, from the heartlands HDB. I would say most of them. And another point to note would be dysfunctional family will be husband, wife, having marital problems, poor parenting skills, and both husband and wife sometimes, if they are not dysfunctional, will be too busy, too caught up with their own life, and the kid is left on their own. So the kid, a person like that usually will not know what love is all about. They are poor, lonely, love-starved kids. Yeah? Quite often, these kids would have been abused, either sexually by their sibling or by their stepfather, sexually, or emotionally being abused by the parents, emotional scars, not sexual, sometimes physical beatings. So this is the sort of profile. But what about, it's generally known, more than 40% of our clients comes from the Malay community. But in terms of absolute numbers, they are about the same, Chinese and Malays. But in relation to the population, the Malay representation is quite high, quite overrepresented. Even the Indians are quite overrepresented in relation to the percentage of Indians in the Singapore population. Indian population is about 7%, but about 14% of them are drug addicts. So that's quite high. Malay, Muslim population is about how many percent in Singapore? 15, 16, closer to 16. Drug addict population, 44%. That's very high. Singapore, Chinese population is 70%. But the population, the percentage of drug addicts in relation to population is low. Why is it so? People ask. There was a research paper being produced, and we have all along suspected to be that way, but we lack the research capability to do An NUS research scientist, a social scientist, a professor, has come up with this study. The social capital in the Malay community, and this is publicized in the Straits Times, yeah, is much narrower, smaller. So for Malay Muslim drug addict, if you want to successfully go through a drug rehabilitation program, he has to, in addition to a job, in addition to other things, housing needs, he has to also successfully plug back into the Malay community. But because the Malay social capital is narrower, platform is narrower, it's less easy for him to fall into it. The Chinese social capital is wider, easier for him to plumb into it. Yeah? So that's another profile for him. Okay? Any other questions? Huh?
If we were to do a campaign for Sana to promote drug use to youth,
Come again?
If we were to do a campaign for Sana to promote drug use to youth, how long would you want this campaign to last?
If you want to promote a campaign, how long would this campaign last? Two things we need to consider. First will be the nature of the campaign, whether we have the resources ourselves, not financial. Finance, of course, the bottom line, you all heard about it already. Finance is the most important, but then the resource to see that